Ladies and gentlemen, mark your calendars because Sunday, May 30th, my Colorado Avalanche will be taking on the Vegas Golden Knights in round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Wild took them to Game 7 after being down 3-1. They unfortunately could not close the series, losing 6-2 tonight, I believe. And, I'm going to do what I did with the Blues, an Avalanche series, and I'm going to give you my matchup for this round. Now, I am an Avalanche fan, so I probably will be biased here. But here's my matchup for the Avalanche versus the Golden Knights. As always, remember that Jesus is king. Put him first in your life, always over everything. That is still something I am working on as a Christian. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this. So, starting off with the Avalanche goaltender, Philipp Grubauer, who has been amazing all season. Definitely a Vezina finalist. Will he win it? Probably not, but I'm still hoping he will. And this season, the 2020-2021 season, he played 40 games. He started 39 of them. He had 30 wins, 9 losses, and 1 overtime loss. He faced 993 shots, allowed 77 goals, and had a 195 goals against average and a 922 save percentage. And he had one of the top shutouts, he was tied for some of the most shutouts with 7, and he played 2,367 minutes. The minutes one I don't really think matters as much for goaltenders, but he did play those many minutes. Now, obviously, he had to carry a majority of the load for this season for the Avalanche, as backup goaltender Pavel Francouz got injured, and then he was pretty much the only goaltender. Hunter Miska was our backup for a while. That was a yikes. Joonas Johansson was in the backup for a while. He was better, but still not great. And now we've got Devin Dubnyk as the backup, who I am way more confident as the backup goaltender. And then in the playoffs, he was very, very solid. He played 4 games, obviously started 4 of them, and he won those 4 in the sweep. He faced 110 shots, allowed 7 goals. There was a 1.75 goals against average, and he had a 936 save percentage. He didn't shut the Blues out. They always scored, but he was pretty solid. And as an Avalanche fan, I do have confidence and faith in Philipp Grubauer. Next up for the Golden Knights, it's Marc-Andre Fleury. Now, they do have one heck of a goaltending tandem in Marc-Andre Fleury and Robin Lehner. They won their award for the best goaltender duo. And this season, Marc-Andre Fleury played 36 games, and he started those 36. Didn't have to come in relief for any. He won 26 games. He had 10 losses. And he faced 989 shots. He allowed 71 goals, and he had a 198 goals against average and a save percentage of a 928. He had 6 shutouts, and Fleury was very, very solid all season. And obviously, he had the help of Robin Lehner, so he could get some rest and off nights if the Golden Knights wanted him to rest up for a specific opponent. And yeah, Fleury's been dominant. And then in the playoffs, he was phenomenal as well. I will say, I did just make this, and I did just see how in the 2021 playoffs, it did not record the Game 7 stats yet. So take this with a grain of salt, as it hasn't recorded tonight's stats for Game 7. But Fleury has played 6 games in the playoffs, started 6 of them. He won. Obviously this is 7. He played 7 games, started 7 of them. He had 4 wins, 3 losses. And as of Game 6, he faced 153 shots, had 10 goals against. That's 12 with two wild ones tonight. And as a Game 6, a 1.66 goals against average, a 9.35 save percentage, and 1 shutout. And if I had to give the edge to one of these goalies, as an Avs fan, I do want to give it to Philipp Grubauer, but Fleury's just had a tremendous season. Obviously, the playoffs are a different animal. Obviously, the Wild were a bit of a better team than the Blues. And, I'm gonna give the edge for the goaltender to Marc-Andre Fleury of the Vegas Golden Knights. But as an Avalanche fan, I still have loads of faith in Philipp Grubauer that he'll be steady and he can win us this series. Next up, we have the leading point scorer for each teams in the regular season. I do want to specify that regular season leading point scorer. And this season, Mikko Rantanen played 52 games, missing 4 of them in the 56-game season, scoring 30 goals, having 36 assists for 66 points. Was at 30 on the plus-minus, which is really good. He had 34 penalty minutes. He had 9 power play goals, 24 power play points. He had 7 game-winning goals, and all that he had 177 shots. And I will say Mikko Rantanen had a great regular season first off, but in the playoffs he has struggled a bit. He's had so many opportunities to score, but he couldn't capitalize on some of them, which is good because we had the team. We had Nathan MacKinnon, Gabriel Landeskog, Cale, Makar, Joonas, Donskoi. All these guys step up, but he started to capitalize in Game 4 on that scoring chance, but on the scoring chances where he had to finish it, he did struggle a little bit, but he still has been phenomenal in the playoffs, having played 4 games with 1 goal, 6 assists for 7 points, was a 5 on the plus-minus. He had 2 penalty minutes, 2 power play points, and 1 game-winning goal, which was in Game 4. And he had 15 shots in the series. And I still got confidence in Mikko. He has struggled a little bit this postseason, but I feel like he's going to step up as long as he didn't lose that confidence, because you could see him getting frustrated in the playoffs. So as long as he still has that confidence, I am still confident in Mikko to produce points and goals in the playoffs. The leading point scorer for the Golden Knights was Mark Stone. Now, in the 2020-21 season, he only missed 1 game, playing 55 games, scoring 21 goals for 40 assists for 61 points. Was a 26 on the plus-minus, which is really good. He had 28 penalty minutes, 6 power play goals, 17 power play points. He had 1 shorthanded goal, and he had 8 game-winning goals, he had 98 shots, and I guess the SHP was 1 shorthanded point. And Mark Stone has been solid all season. He's their captain. He's their leader for a reason, and he has looked phenomenal in the playoffs. With again, I'm just gonna read off of the Game 6, just what is up to Game 6. It's annoying that it hasn't updated yet, but he's played 6 games. He's had 4 goals, 1 assist for 5 points. He was a 2 on the plus-minus. He has 1 power play goal, 1 shorthanded goal, 1 shorthanded point, and he's gotten 10 shots. And Mark Stone has been really solid both in the regular season and in the postseason. But as an Avs fan, I'm gonna give it to Mikko. I'm gonna give him the edge because he was just a point producer this season. He went off this season. He had more points than Nathan MacKinnon in the regular season, and I think with him bouncing back with those extra days of rest, because if you remember, I believe we won our series last Friday, and so we've had almost a week to rest up, to practice, to focus for this upcoming series. I think Mikko's going to bounce back. Next, the top defenseman for each team. You already know, it's the young phenom for my Avalanche, Cale Makar. And in the regular season, he did miss some time. He missed 12 games, only playing 44. He had 8 goals for 36 assists for 44 points. Was a 17 on the plus minus. He had 12 penalty minutes. He had 4 power play goals, 22 power play points, 3 game-winning goals on 104 shots. And Cale Makar is one of the best defensemen in the league. He's approaching to be the top defenseman in the entire league. Is that this year? Maybe, maybe not. It's between him and Adam Fox for the Norris this year, in my opinion. And yeah, he's just an offensive defenseman. He'll go in, he'll make them pay, he'll score the puck, but when he gets back on defense, he can also play defense as well. And just this is kind of the direction that the NHL is going in for their franchise defensemen. And we got so lucky with Cale Makar falling to us with the 4th overall pick in 2017. And in the playoffs, he's played 4 games. He has 1 goal, 2 assists for 3 points. He's a 1 on the plus-minus. He has 1 power play goal, 3 power play points on 10 shots. And, still in the postseason, he has been producing. Obviously, in Game 1, he got the scoring started on that power play, beating Jordan Bennington. And, Cale Makar is an absolute beast, and I can't wait to see what he does in this playoffs. The top defenseman for the Golden Knights, I'm going with former St. Louis Blues captain Alex Pietrangelo. This season for the Golden Knights, his first one after signing that 7-year deal. He's played 41 games, so he has missed some time. He had 7 goals, 16 assists for 23 points. Was a 20 on the plus-minus. He had 16 penalty minutes, 4 power play points, 1 shorthanded point, 2 game-winning goals, and 1 overtime goal. And he threw up 126 shots. And Pietrangelo is, he's one of those better defensemen. Obviously, he's getting up there in age. But, as the former Blues captain, he knows how to provide leadership. He knows how to go the distance and win the Stanley Cup. Obviously, Vegas went to the Stanley Cup Finals in 2018. But Pietrangelo won it in 2019, so he is there to provide that experience. But like I said, age is catching up with him. And as an Avs fan, I'm gonna be biased here. I'm gonna give the edge to Cale Makar. He's young. He's been one of the best defensemen all season. He's potentially gonna win the Norris. And I gotta give the edge to my boy Cale Makar. Next, the X factor for each team. And you already know my favorite player in the league on my favorite team, the Avalanche, Nathan MacKinnon. In the regular season, a lot of us Avs fans, after the playoffs last year, thought he was going to go out and he was going to win the Hart. Obviously, a Hart finalist last year. We all thought he was going to go out and win the Hart Trophy as the MVP. Obviously, Leon Draisaitl had a great season. We all thought he was going to come out this year win. He wasn't. He had a rough season in Nathan MacKinnon standards. Obviously, he had a spectacular season, but for Nathan MacKinnon's standards and the expectations he had, he played 48 games, so he did miss some time. He missed 8 games. He had 20 goals, 45 assists for 65 points, which it's incredible. 65 points in a 56-game season is incredible. Don't get me wrong. Don't think I'm dissing Nathan MacKinnon. He was 1 point short of Mikko Rantanen's leading points for us. Was a 22 on the plus-minus, had 37 penalty minutes, 8 power play goals, 25 power play points, 2 game-winning goals on 206 shots. But now, in the playoffs, are you kidding me? He went off 4 games, 6 goals, 3 assists for 9 points in only 4 games. And one of those games, he didn't even score. No goals, no assists. He was held off the board. He was 6 on the plus-minus, 2 penalty minutes, 2 power play goals, 3 power play points, 2 game-winning goals on 16 shots. Are you kidding me? This guy's amazing. This guy is a different breed. He is my favorite player for a reason, and he is so fun to watch in this. If there's a Vegas fan in here, you're gonna have so much fun watching Nathan MacKinnon. Even if he's going against you, you're gonna hate it, but he is gonna be so fun to watch. He's my favorite player, and he's a different animal in the playoffs because he wants it. He wants to win that cup. Like that's his only motivation. He doesn't want to. His main motivation isn't getting paid, getting that large contract. His main motivation isn't winning the MVP trophy. It is winning the Stanley Cup, which I love. And he just has that drive, that motivation. He is so skilled. He's got the speed. He's got the shot. He's even got that physicality. Some people go to hit him. No, he'll stand him up. Are you kidding me? This guy is a beast. With that being said, the X factor for the Golden Knights, I'm getting Max Pacioretty. This season, he played in 48 games, so same as MacKinnon, I believe, right? Yeah. He had 24 goals, 27 points, 27 assists for 51 points. He was a 20 on the plus minus. Had 14 penalty minutes, 6 power play goals, 12 power play points, 6 game-winning goals, 4 overtime goals on 147 shots. In the playoffs, though, he hasn't been great. He's played, obviously, as of Game 6, 1 game, scored 1 goal, scored 1 point, was a 2 on the plus minus, 1 game-winning goal on 4 shots. And you might be thinking, well, Parker, why is he the X factor? Well, I would have put Mark Stone, but I want to get more than just – I don't want to do the same person twice. And now that he's back playing, I do think he can be a solid point producer and an X factor that we'll have to watch out for in the playoffs. I do think he's a great player. I was thinking of doing Jonathan Marchessault, but he was also out for a while. And I do think Max Pacioretty is a good player, and he'll definitely be an X factor. That isn't Mark Stone or Pietrangelo that we got to watch out for. Next is the wild card for each team, and for my Avs, I'm going Joonas Donskoi, who's really been on a tear. If it wasn't obvious, I'm giving the edge to Nathan MacKinnon. I'm giving the edge to Nathan MacKinnon this one. In my opinion, he's the best player still left in the playoffs. Next, the wild card. I'm giving Joonas Donskoi, who is been really great and on fire this recently. These past few games, he's been on fire, scoring like crazy. I mean, he played 51 games this season, scored 17 goals, 14 assists for 31 points. He was a 14 plus minus. He had 10 penalty minutes. He scored 10 power play goals, had 8 power play points, scored 3 game-winning goals on 86 shots, and, you know, he wants it too. He's a clutch performer. As fans, if you remember back to Game 7 against the Sharks in the 2019 playoffs, he scored the game-winning goal against us, and he can come up clutch in the big time, and he's been on a tear recently. He in the playoffs played 4 games, scored 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points. He's a -1 on the plus minus, unfortunately. He has 1 power play goal, 2 power play assists on 8 shots, and you know, Donskoi, if the top line isn't going, and you know, he's on the power play, and Vegas, you got to watch out for this guy. He's going to be on the second line, third line, I believe it's the second, and you got to watch out for him because he will come and he will score. He will score. And next for the Golden Knights, the wild card, William Karlsson, who this season played all 56 games, scored 14 goals, 25 assists for 39 points, was a 19 on the plus minus. He has 4 penalty minutes, 1 power play goal, 8 power play points. He had 1 shorthanded point and 4 game-winning goals and 1 overtime goal. And then in the playoffs, he's played in all the games, scored 1 goal, 2 assists for 3 points. He's was a 2 on the plus minus, and he's had 8 shots. And looking at these two, they've performed similarly in the playoffs. As an Avs fan, this hurts me to do. I do think Donskoi will be a difference maker in this series, but I got to give the edge to William Karlsson here. As an Avs fan, I want to be biased and give it to Donskoi, but I'm going to give it to Karlsson here. Just these scorers who aren't on the top line who will just produce and score goals when, you know, your top line's having an off night. And going to give the edge to Karlsson here, but I do think Donskoi could go off in this series and can prove me wrong, hopefully prove me wrong, that he should have been the choice to give the edge to here. And just to recap here, between the goaltenders, Grubauer and Fleury, I'm giving the edge to Fleury. Between Mikko Rantanen and Mark Stone, I'm giving it to Rantanen. Between Cale, Makar, and Alex Pietrangelo, I'm giving it to Cale, Makar. Between Nathan MacKinnon and Max Pacioretty, 100% giving it to Nathan MacKinnon. Between Joonas, Donskoi, and William Karlsson, I'm giving it to William Karlsson. Now, what is my prediction for this series? I got my Colorado Avalanche taking care of business, winning this series in 6 games. Yes, I don't have us going to Game 7. I have us taking care of business, only losing twice, and I have us winning in 6 games against the Golden Knights to move on to the semifinals and face, well, I can't really say who we'll face because as whoever's the lowest seed. But yes, thank you so much for watching. I got some more videos coming out, and say it with me. Go, Avs, go. And remember, Jesus is King. Thank you for watching.